Coming to you from a studio somewhere out there. It's Enough Already Radio with Fingers Malloy and Tracy O'Connors.
Well, what do you know? It's only been 5 months. But we're back. And really better than ever. Here at the Enough Already podcast. If you don't remember, I'm Fingers Malloy. And she, over there, on the other side of the room there, because we're in a studio. Virtual studio. It's Tracy O'Connors. Hi, Tracy.
Hi, Fingers.
Where have you been?
I've been all over the place.
Tell us about it.
Well, since last we spoke, I've been to Maine, Florida, Massachusetts, and Connecticut.
Wow.
Oh, and New Hampshire.
Did you get any pies while you were up there? I hear in New England, when you're driving down the road, they just have pie stands where you get yourself a pie.
No, I don't think I was there for the height of pie season.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yes.
I hear they got good pie.
Well, next time I will be going back to all of those locations.
Well, can you explain to the fine folks that listen to this podcast, who were regulars, why we stopped recording?
Yes, because I got a, let's see, I would say 9 to 5, but that's a lie. It's more like 8:30 to 7 gig that takes up all of my time.
So
we did try recording at my lunch, but that was never successful.
Yeah.
So people don't respect signs.
Right. So we had to suspend recording of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were on Wham 1600 in Ann Arbor. And people who listened to the show before we got on Wham 1600 were actually pissed because we couldn't swear anymore.
I was just as angry.
So, I'm still on Wham doing the old show that we used to do over at FTR Radio called The Snark Factor because I still had to give them a show every week. And we kept trying to figure out when we could, record these Enough Alreadys. And like you said, I've got a 9 to 5 job as well. But unfortunately, my 9 to 5 job is really 1 p.m. to midnight. Which, for someone like you who has a job where you have to be up in early in the morning, you're not all that excited about recording at 1 a.m.
No.
So,
that's not to say that I'm not up sometimes at 1 a.m., but...
Well, why didn't you hit me up?
No, I couldn't dial.
I was thinking about you the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Vegas with my dad. He's going to be 80 years old in about 5 months here. And to get psyched up for my Vegas trip, I got on YouTube and I started watching videos of Vegas stuff, whether it was gambling or food or whatever. Everything Las Vegas. Well, I came across this guy who does a live slot channel. Apparently this is a thing now.
Okay.
Where you get permission from the casino to do this. And you take your selfie stick or a tripod or whatever into the casino and you do a live stream of yourself gambling. Mm-hmm. And there's this guy.
People watch this?
Yes. In fact, I've been watching it.
Oh, good Lord.
Since I got back from Vegas, I watch it. There's this one guy, he cracks me up. His name's Brian, and I don't have the channel info in front of me for all you other degenerate gamblers out there that like to watch people gamble on YouTube. I almost sent it to you because I thought you'd think this is funny until I realized...
I think it's funny that you're watching this.
You'd be bored to tears. Well, whenever he gets close to hitting, a jackpot, but he's like one cherry off or a mango or whatever the slot machine thing is that doesn't hit the pay line correctly, he goes, rude.
I do appreciate that.
To the point where he's selling rude t-shirts, and he's got these people have huge followings. Like he travels to different parts of the country lets people know ahead of time that he will be at a casino, and he has fans that show up to meet him.
Why aren't you doing this? This is like your dream come true job. I'm serious. I mean, does he provide banter throughout, or is it literally just you watching the screen spin and waiting for him to comment?
You can hear him talk, and like I said, if he doesn't get the jackpot, he'll say rude.
Right, but is he telling stories or something, or he's just talking about
his trip? Yeah, his trip, okay. Or he's interacting with the people on YouTube during the live stream. And apparently, this is something I didn't know about. You can donate to people during their stream. They call it a super chat.
Yes, you pay to get your question seen.
Yeah, so people are donating money to him so he can gamble it.
You need to have your teenager hook you up with this stuff.
Right?
Yes.
So holy crap, but you have to start with your own seed money, and I don't have, that kind of coin.
How much coin do you need here? You need a selfie stick, it sounds like.
Well, these people, when they're gambling, they're in the high roller slots. They aren't doing
But it's even funnier if you're just doing pennies.
One
you're like,
penny
here's
at a time.
broke-ass Fingers Malloy at some shithole casino.
Yeah, well, he was doing at one point. He said, listen, I'm drunk, but I'm in and you'll appreciate this, too. He was in the Cosmopolitan.
Oh, I love it.
In Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm in the high roller area of the Cosmopolitan. I will do, one $100 pull of the Wheel of Fortune machine if I get a $100 super chat. And all of a sudden, like 6 people send him $100 super chats over YouTube. And
why are we talking right now? Why aren't you out doing this? I want you to go to the dingiest, dirtiest places. Penny slots. That's also a laundromat.
Oh, there's only one place for me. It's the El Cortez.
There you go.
Yeah. But apparently, this is a neat little trick. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm only taking his word for it. And he was 3 or 4 Jack Daniels into his slot broadcast. It sounds like YouTube takes like 40% of that super chat money.
Ooh. That's some bullshit.
Right?
Yes.
So if he wins, he says, "Oh, that was delicious." He's got his own lingo, okay. and it's all. He was wearing a sweatshirt. He was in Laughlin, Nevada. Sure. Mm-hmm. And he had a sweatshirt. It said #rude on the front of it, #delicious on the arm. I thought, oh, Tracy would love this.
I do.
But you would be bored to tears watching it because
yes.
These things they do 2 hours.
Oh my goodness.
2 hours. And then there's this other guy, #boom. And he's like this huge high roller. He was doing $750 pulls on a slot machine in the high roller.
What's wrong with people?
Yeah, he had like $42,000 in the slot machine, just playing like it was his penny slot. $750 a pull. He was at the Hard Rock. Yeah.
That makes me sick.
Oh, it made me sick, too. I was like, oh, one pull right there. Mortgage payment. Yeah. Mortgage payment. But this is a thing now, apparently. There was a time not too long ago, and I know you know this because you lived in Vegas. Man, they would freak out if you had a camera in the casino. Especially,
I don't know.
They still get kind of salty if you're in the sports book with a camera. But this guy's just walking around
like a nuclear sub. I never got shit, but I was always with the camera crew, I guess.
Well, yeah, you were with a camera crew filming a show. That helps.
Yeah.
But if you're some ham and egger.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hook you up with the rude guy. He's like,
I'll spend all of 30 seconds watching that. Is there a highlight clip?
Oh yeah, some of the videos are only 7 or 8 minutes long.
That's still too much.
But some of them are 4 hours.
I can't wait till you get turned onto the paint drying YouTube channel.
But it simply amazes me. This guy's walking through the casino, and people are stopping. Go, oh, huge fan of your channel. And he's like, oh, thanks. And they do these group polls where he'll say, I'm going to do a group poll at the Monte Carlo in Vegas. Come see me in 2 weeks. Sign up. And then people will put $500 into a kitty, and there'll be like 20 of them, and they'll stuff it in 5 different slot machines, and everybody gets like 10 hits of the slot machine. And then when they're done, they make money, they lose money, and this is a thing now. YouTube,
this is your chance. Seize the moment. Just got to come up with the 1 or 2 catchy little phrases. It sounds like one for winning and one for losing.
Yeah. So far, I've got Ollie Ollie Oxenfree.
And what's that for? Is that good or bad?
I haven't decided yet.
No. I think that's when you're looking for the chick to bring you a drink.
Yeah, that could be. And then oh snap. Oh. I hear the kids say oh snap all the time.
True.
So I think maybe if you
it'd be funnier if you just screamed at the damn machine. That I would watch.
Just call it a filthy whore every time.
Yeah, just curse it out.
I like the idea of a penny machine, and they have 150 lines on these damn penny machines. Just play one line, 1 cent. Mm-hmm. See how long people will stick around to watch that. Kind
of like teach fingers how to gamble in the live chat, please. All suggestions taken.
Yeah.
Roll out with $100. That's a lot of plays if you're doing pennies.
Yeah, but I can't get over how many different machines there are. I mean, I always kind of knew, but I'm not a slot machine player. We were playing The Simpsons the other day. Here's a fun one. Apparently, they have a slot machine themed after the Titanic movie.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So when you win, the ship doesn't sink?
I guess. I'm thinking, wow, that's a really good idea.
Comes up, 18 icebergs, you win. I mean...
Good karma.
It's awful.
How many people...
Does it play Celine Dion song on repeat?
Yeah. How many millennials do you think believe that the movie was a fictional... wasn't based on a true story at all?
108%.
Oh, good God. So that's been my last month, really, because I went with my dad to Vegas between Christmas and New Year's. We hit Ellis Island Casino.
Lovely place.
Best barbecue I've ever had.
And great karaoke.
Yes, and the beer's good, too. So that was that's been my last month. So fill us in. What's your life been like?
It's been busy.
Yeah.
Working, traveling for work.
Any
a lot of meetings,
stories with the travel?
Any good
drinking
really.
Stories? No.
Well, I mean, it's just the regular TSA nonsense. I guess it's now countrywide. One of my travels was to my brother's wedding at the end of October, and we had to fly in and out of Orlando. So flying out of Philly, no problem. You don't even have to take your damn shoes off. That's how lazy they've become, which is great for me. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Then I get to Orlando on Sunday to come home, and the line is a mess. I'm like, okay. They're like, it's probably going to be 45 minutes. It's like, Jesus. All these people with their kids just went to Disney. So I'm like scoping the lines because there's a fork. And I'm like, okay, this line in front of me has less children than the other one. And I figure the kids are going to take a really long time. So I go with the fewer children line. Then I finally can get into earshot of the TSA woman that's explaining what the hell we all have to do now. You ready for the new rules?
Well, I just flew in December here, so I didn't encounter anything new. But you.
Well, this woman informed me it's coming nationwide. So suck it up, Buttercup.
Oh.
So what you have to do now is out of your carry-on, you must take every single piece of electronic equipment that's bigger than a cell phone and including a cell phone. And it goes in its own individual tray. Then you must take all of your medications and put those in a tray.
What?
Then you must take all of your food stuff and put those in a tray. So everybody ends up with 10 trays. Especially people that, their only luggage for their whole trip is their carry-on. Toiletries, separate trash.
Florida man thing?
I swear, I was just like, this is insane. She's like, well, it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. Just wait for it.
Do you have some paper or something you're moving around, or your cord or something that keeps smacking the microphone?
No.
Oh. Okay. Just asking.
Oh.
Yeah, there it was again.
Not doing anything. Oh, it might be the cord hitting the side of my head on my earphones.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. Well, I'll try to stop moving.
Yeah.
So anyway, where am I?
Okay, so apparently you have to open up your aspirin bottle and take each and every individual tablet out of the bottle and put it in its own separate tray now? Is that what you're telling me?
No, it's not that extreme. But I was traveling with a phone, an iPad, a laptop, a camera, and then I had some snacks for the plane because, if it goes down, I want to eat for a couple of days while I'm waiting to be rescued. And I'm sure that I had my toiletries, some of them, and a bottle of hangover pills. And so I take out the big stuff, my iPad, my laptop, my phone, and my camera. And I was like, this is it. I'm only doing 4 of these bins. This is the end of it. She's like, do you have any food? Nope. Nothing. No food, really. Yep, not. It went right through. I was like, I know how smart you people are.
They stopped
one over on me.
They stopped me for a snow globe.
Did you have to leave it?
Apparently, it was just small enough to where they let us go through, but
couldn't crush someone's skull with it. Is that the deal?
Well, there was apparently no bomb-making material fluid. There wasn't enough fluid in there to make a bomb.
Please tell me that you purchased it at the airport.
No, I did not. Oh. I purchased it at one of the crappy Las Vegas souvenir shops that you see.
Why does Vegas have snow globes? There's never snow in Vegas.
I don't know, but
is it a glitter globe?
Yeah, it was snow glitter, kind of thing. It was right around Christmas.
All your loose change globe.
Yeah. So, but I caught a new one at on my flight there and back. I flew Allegiant Air. Mm-hmm. Allegiant Air charges you for pop and water. Yeah.
Okay.
They
have a pay toilet too.
Right. The flight waitress walked by and asked if I wanted something to drink, and I said yes, I would enjoy a Diet Coke. And she brought me back the whole can, and I'm excited because usually what they do is they pull out those thimble-sized plastic cups with 80 pounds of ice, yeah. And you get a slurp and a half of pop. She walks up with a full can of Diet Coke, and I'm like, ooh, wow, I love me some Allegiant. And she says, yeah, that'll be $2.
Was it already opened, or could you return it?
It was one of those situations where I really didn't want to say, well, wait, I have to pay? Well, screw that.
You're like, that's 200 pulls on the penny slot, I'll have you know.
Rude.
Yeah.
So, no, I sucked it up, and I bought the Coke. And on top, what made it worse was, my dad hasn't flown since the 60s. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling him how, everything is, and, oh, yeah, you can get free drinks on the plane, and, of course, you can't get a free pop on this plane, so I'd hear about that. But my TSA experience, especially on the way back, it pays to put someone in a wheelchair and escort them to TSA, because you can cut right to the front. My dad was arguing with me. It's like, I don't need a wheelchair. Like, yeah, you do, Dad. Trust me. Get in the wheelchair.
So you need like a service cripple. Yeah, a service dog. Okay.
Yeah, just like in California there, I think there was a Curb Your Enthusiasm where the main character got a hooker to sit in his car with him so he could ride in the carpool lane. So he'd do a Dodgers game.
And there was a scandal a couple years ago that I think you and I have talked about where people were like renting cripples and stuff like that to jump lines at Disney World. And they cracked down on it. I was like, everybody was making out well on that.
Yeah.
It's a free market solution to line jumping.
Is there cripplerental.com? Is that where you go to rent yourself a cripple?
I don't know. I'll be registering that as soon as we wrap this up.
Can I put my slot channel on cripplerental.com?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You can advertise for cripplerental.com while you're doing your penny slots.
Oh, my goodness. So... Well, no, that's going to suck if that's going to be the new normal. That you have to.
Well, this is why I had to apply for TSA pre.
Oh.
They give them $100 so they never bother you again.
Yeah, you know, my brother-in-law did that, and now he told me the last time he flew there were more people in the TSA pre line than there were at the regular.
But you don't have to go through all the rigmarole.
Yeah,
you get to keep your shoes on and your belt on, and it's like the old days. You don't have to strip down and take all your stuff out.
I was jealous of my dad. He was, being wheeled right through TSA. He didn't have to take his shoes off or his coat or anything.
Well, I'm interested for my interview because, you have to go get fingerprinted and a background check and all this garbage.
Yeah.
And you have to pay for the pleasure of that.
How much is it?
It's $100.
How long is it good for?
I think it's 10 years. And I got global entry, so I get, priority coming back if I ever leave the country again.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, my problem with that is it's great if you're flying alone, but we had a couple of people try to line jump in front of my dad in his, wheelchair.
Rude.
Yeah. It was two girls, probably in their early 20s, and one looked at me and said, excuse me, sir? I'm looking around like, yeah? The TSA agent told me to come over here because I have TSA pre, but my friend doesn't, and so he told me to come over here. And
okay.
I was like,
cool story.
I was like, that's great. I said the line's back there though. that's where it starts for you. What? I'm pushing a man with a wheelchair. Okay. And then they both looked confused because they were cute. And they thought I'm sure they probably thought that their good looks would get them in front of us.
Nope.
No. Sorry. I'm old. My dad's even older. We don't care. Get to the back of the line. So, no, they the TSA in Vegas said the same thing. Any electronic larger than a cell phone, they wanted you to put it in the tub. Well, all I had was my computer, so.
Yeah.
What a pain in the ass.
It's a huge pain in the ass. And it's not making anybody any safer, let's be honest.
Well, no, it's all show. And I saw some comedian, it was on Twitter for about 3 days. Everybody was passing it along like it was their own tweet. Mm-hmm. Someone said, TSA takes all of your bomb-making material... Or takes all of your material that they're worried could be a bomb, and they throw it away right behind the TSA checkpoint, the busiest part of the airport. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So.
Of course. Mensa members over there.
Oh, it must be a sweet gig, though.
I guess. They don't ever seem to be enjoying it.
Oh, like I got off the plane we flew out of Grand Rapids, and they had one TSA agent manning the area where you walk out, towards luggage claim, so people can't sneak through there. So this TSA agent is just sitting there at a podium doing absolutely nothing, just making sure nobody runs in through that entrance or exit for the folks that are getting off the plane. It's not supposed to be an entrance. You're supposed to go through the screening. But that person's just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. Just looking around, thinking, man, I wonder how much that person's getting paid to just sit there.
And they're going to get a pension. And none of them are healthy.
No. It would suck, though, because I've seen you get patted down before.
Well, I did that on purpose. That's because I refused to go through that scanner thing, the one they lied to us about. Oh, yeah, nobody's going to see, naked images of it. And then you find out that, of course, they are.
Right.
And I find it incredibly invasive and rude. So I said, no, I will take the pat down instead, which is also
still do the pat down?
No, I got over it. I was just bored. Like, I don't have time. And there's such incompetence. I think you were with me the time that the woman's patting me down and she says something to me like, oh my God, like, what do you eat? I'm like, probably a quarter of as much as you do. This is how this works. Oh, wow. And then, as she's patting me down, talking to me about this. And then at the end of the pat down, she takes her gloves off and throws the damn thing away. And she was like, oh, oops. I was supposed to run that through the machine first.
Oh,
we're going to have to do it again.
Oh, good God.
Like, please.
I didn't want to make my flight. It's cool.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed being groped by you the first time. You questioned me about my dietary habits.
Yeah, here's my secret. I put down the fork. You should look into that.
How many calories do you take in a day? Okay. Let's subtract 4,000 from that number, and then you're in the ballpark, sweetie.
Oh, that's the one thing I love about a Vegas vacation is I hardly eat while I'm out there. Because you're
so busy.
Yeah, you're running around. I went to Hoover Dam. My dad insisted to go, we go to Hoover Dam, which was fine. I'd never been there. I never had any desire to go there because there's no casino. Uh-huh. So we rented a car and we drove out there. It took us 3 hours to get out there.
Why?
About 2.5. I take that back. Well, there was construction, which slowed everything down. And then they do a TSA type security check.
Oh, of course.
As you're driving into Hoover Dam. So, you'll have two, park rangers. Someone from the Department of the Interior. I don't know. They're two guys that are just waving traffic through. And then I'm guessing if you look like you're from Al-Qaeda,
sure.
You're driving a car, they're like, oh, you need to stop. Pull over. We're going to go through your car. So I'm sure much of it is based on profiling. Wink, wink.
You would hope.
Winky, winky. So traffic was, at a crawl there. They're just letting people through, and I'm thinking, oh, this is such crap. There's no anybody who wants to get through there could probably get through there with no problem at all.
I'm sure you could walk in.
Well, it's a little bit of a hike from there.
Right, but is it fenced in?
Hoover Dam. You could drive over Hoover Dam.
No, I understand, but is there a fence surrounding it that would prevent someone from just walking up to it through the desert? Okay, there you go. And you can boat up to it, I believe.
Right. I mean, there's several ways someone wanted to do something, and we don't. NSA overlords. Just saying that
no interest in blowing up the Hoover Dam.
No. But it was TSA 101. It was all for show. Mm-hmm. Wasn't any security over there. So, but went to Hoover Dam, and that was okay. I made the old man happy. God bless him. Good. God bless him. He'd never been to Vegas, and he hadn't flown since the 60s. This was the other funny thing, too. Because back in the 60s, people would dress up for everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Go to McDonald's, you got to have a sport coat on. Mm-hmm. So, I go to his house to pick him up, and he's all decked out in, this really nice sweater and dress pants and dress shoes.
And you're like, Dad, we're basically flying in a porta potty.
Yeah. Oh, I'm wearing sweatpants.
Yeah.
Because, one person's activewear is another person's fat pants. Mm-hmm. So, I'm in sweat. I'm like, oh, Dad, things have changed since you got on a plane.
Yeah, people walk around with their dirty pillows.
Yeah. And I saw a picture the other day of someone. Once again, this totally grosses me out because, I have a foot thing. Feet are gross. People who have foot fetishes are... Dick Morris, you're a disgusting human being. If feet are your thing. Well, people taking their shoes off on a plane. Mm-hmm. You're disgusting people. And then there's a picture I saw where it was a woman. She had her legs crossed. Mm-hmm. And she had her fingers in between her toes. Like all, you know what I'm saying? Like all of her fingers were in between all of her toes. Just like she was cupping her foot and her fingers were wedged in between her toes. It was the grossest thing I've ever seen. Like this person's on a flight and then she's getting drinks from the flight waitress and then going to the bathroom and there's foot debris everywhere. It's disgusting. And my dad's all dressed up. Sweater. And dress pants and dress shoes surrounded by animals.
Yes.
So, but it was a great experience driving up the Strip. I've never done that before. I've never gone from the south end all the way up to.
Did you stop and see the Pawn Stars boys?
No, we didn't do that. He was the only thing he wanted to do is he wanted to see Hoover Dam, and then we were there when college football bowl season was in full effect, and Michigan State was in, I believe it was the Alamo Bowl, taking on Washington State. So we watched that game from a sports book, and there's nothing quite like watching a sporting event at a sports book, because you got hardened gamblers with money on these games, like going absolutely nuts. There's one guy that must have been like an 80-yard touchdown run, and it was pretty evident right around the 50-yard line that he was going to score. And this guy gets up from a table and he starts pretending like he's running the ball. And he's running towards the TV going, go, that's my money, go bitch, touchdown. And then he like fake spiked the ball right in front of the TV.
Which classy sports book were you in?
That would have been the D Casino. On Fremont Street.
Of course you're at the D.
At Fremont Street, yeah. I had quite a time at the Four Queens. Won a little bit of money. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. That was where I had most of my good luck, was at the Four Queens. We stayed at the Golden Nugget. I mean, my dad didn't want anything. He didn't want to have anything to do with the Strip. You know? I wasn't going to argue with him. You know my feelings on the Strip.
I know. You're wrong.
Oh, no, it's a beautiful place to stay. But the gambling sucks.
No, well, yeah, I don't care about that.
Well, see? So, should we talk about what's going on in the news?
I mean, there's lots of stuff that's happened.
So, apparently you just can't tell the truth anymore.
Oh, we knew that.
Because people can't handle the truth. Now, I don't even know what the truth is when it comes to the whole shithole comment. Because there isn't a good source.
Right.
There's no recording. Apparently Dick Durbin is the one that's pushing this narrative out there that he called Haiti and countries in Africa shitholes. Donald Trump, that is. So we're going to run this into the ground. This is what the left always does, and I find it precious. They take something which really should be a one-day story, and they overplay their hands to the point where we're still talking about shitholes.
Yes.
And we're going to pretend that Haiti isn't a shithole.
Which is just the most stunning part of all of this. We're going to pretend that anybody would prefer to live in one of those countries than live here.
I'm sure Van Jones vacations in Haiti, right?
Right. Maybe the Dominican, which is on the same island.
Yeah.
Is relatively advanced and nice. And has sewer systems at work. Which apparently Haiti does not.
What would you call a country that doesn't have a functioning sewer system?
Well, I mean, he could have referred to them as the turd world.
Yeah.
Well, I think I've told you, and I lived in a third world country, Venezuela. It wasn't as bad as it is now, but when I was there in 2000, you were not permitted to flush toilet paper.
That's a great story.
Well, it's just vile. It's like, how do you not have a sewer system that can handle paper? Very thin. Like, I never saw anything thicker than like a quarter ply.
Oh, good God.
So I refused to comply with this.
You flushed every time?
I don't care. Every time.
And it went down?
It was, yes. But I don't know what it was doing down in the pipes.
Sure.
I have no clue. But, I mean, you'd be out at a restaurant and you're in the bathroom and there's a trash can full of poop paper. It's like, this is what I want to see. Well, then trash day. Out on the street. There's just bags and bags of shit-covered toilet paper.
So what do the restrooms smell like? Do they put, like, pine...
Oh, please.
air fresheners around so it smells like pine and poop? Is that what...
I'm fairly certain that they have no idea such things even exist. They're just all used to it. They do it in their homes.
The whole country must smell like shit, like a shithole.
Yes, this is why this is apropos. So I don't know why everybody's getting all upset about it. Then they want to say it's like some personal indictment of everybody that lives there. And it's like, no. Venezuela is a complete shithole. I met a lot of really, really nice people there, though. Wonderful, salt-of-the-earth people. And they would love to get the hell out of there. Because it's a shithole.
Well, you have coastal elitists on the left that if you gave them any truth serum, they'd call Mississippi a shithole. Alabama a shithole.
It's a shithole now.
Yeah. But we're going to play make-believe that there are countries in Africa and Haiti, and we're not going to call them shitholes.
Why do we give them all kinds of aid? If they're such wonderful places, why do they need our financial assistance?
Well, that's a good question. Probably because they're shitholes.
Potentially so. I think we should apply for a grant to investigate this further.
And we got to find if they have a casino where I can do my slot show.
They have casinos. They're big on gambling in shitholes. They are.
Being from Michigan and having seen Detroit become the butt of the nation's jokes for 60 years now, I mean, people say that Detroit's a shithole all the time.
And it is.
Many parts of Detroit is a shithole.
You're not being derisive or dismissive. You're just being honest. The city that I now live next door to, I live in the nicer area, but it's, I think, the 12th most dangerous city in the country. It is a shithole. And it's populated by people that came from shithole countries that don't care that they now live in just a little bit nicer of a shithole. I could send you photographs of some of the streets that I have to walk downtown, and you would think I was in a third world country. And it's great for the local city. They don't give a shit now. They collect all this tax money. They don't even plow the streets. It snowed 2 or 3 times. I haven't seen a single snowplow.
Wow.
It just sits there. They don't even salt.
No, I believe it. Must have been back in 2004. I went to a Trump casino in Gary, Indiana. And driving up to the casino from the highway, the only thing that was missing were the big pictures of Saddam Hussein because I thought I was in Iraq.
Mm-hmm. Atlantic City, also a shithole. It is. We've got plenty of our own shitholes. We don't need to bring in more people that don't mind living in shitholes because then nothing's ever going to improve.
But I have a problem with not even knowing if he said it, and people, forget it now. There could be tape that comes out of him having this discussion over immigration, and no shithole country was even mentioned. It doesn't matter anymore. Oh,
no. But do you care if he said shithole?
Do I care if he said... No, I don't, and I think most Americans don't care. It's the media and liberal elites who want to keep this going.
I've been watching Morning Joe every morning while I get ready to go to work because it delights me to see them flip the fuck out every single day. And this is an extended freak out. I usually get to watch about half an hour, 45 minutes of it. And every day it's just cranked up. The hysteria level keeps rising and rising and rising and rising. And I figure there's got to be a breaking point. We haven't reached it yet, though. There's always some new outrage. So the week prior to this, they spent hyperventilating over that book, Fire and Fury.
Right.
Which WikiLeaks was kind enough to drop the entire PDF on Google, on the old Google Drive, and it took Google a couple days to pull it down. And in the interim, I got my hands on it.
Have you read it?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this book?
It's hilarious. If any of it's true, it's really funny. I thought it's a lot of comments very similar to the shithole one that we're told exists. But the gentleman who wrote it is quite the Weasley little bastard who would like us all to believe that he just kind of perched his ass on a couch in the White House and sat there for months and overheard all of this stuff. And then he's also, I mean, there's a whole part where they're going to Roger Ailes' funeral. Mm-hmm. And he's got quotes from a plane ride with a bunch of Fox personalities that were coming from New York City to the funeral. I'm wondering, how the hell did he get this stuff? He never explains it. It wasn't like, then so-and-so. Then Sean Hannity told me, because he's quoting Sean Hannity, Kimberly Guilfoyle, and I think Greg Gutfeld.
Were they all bashing Ailes?
Flight. No, I didn't know. They were bashing Trump.
Oh.
Because he's also then later at the funeral saying that Laura Ingraham and Rush Limbaugh were trying to distance themselves from Trump because he's such a disaster.
Wow.
So I did find it entertaining. I don't know. I would say I believe maybe 20% of it.
So will Alec Baldwin play Trump in the Fire and Fury movie?
Potentially.
We figured that out yet? Wow.
I don't know. I mean, the one thing that stuck in my mind from the very beginning is Wolf insinuates several times, and not insinuate is too kind. He flat out comes out and says he's not sure if Trump can read. I'm not kidding you. This is a man who spends, they freak out that he's on Twitter all the time, right, writing tweets, which would lead one to believe that he can indeed read. But Wolf brings this up several times, and then he discusses, it's a lot of the book is about the war behind the scenes, the palace intrigue shit, Bannon and Priebus teaming up to fight what they called Jervanka, which is Jared and Ivanka.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so the inaugural address, Wolf says, was written by Bannon and Stephen Miller. And Bannon's the only one that Wolf gives any credit to for having a modicum of intelligence. Like, oh, he's read a book. Stephen Miller, who I believe went to Duke, he's pretty convinced that Stephen Miller's never read a book. Trump has definitely never read a book, probably including his own, because he can't read. Mm-hmm. So Stephen Miller and Bannon write the speech that Trump gave on Inauguration Day. And then the State of the Union that wasn't a State of the Union, but rather an address to the joint session of Congress, was written by the Jervanka team. And then Trump read it off the teleprompter, even though he can't read.
Well, here's my question. Mm-hmm. The Trump organization, mm-hmm, something like 22,000 people work for the Trump organization.
Sure.
They're in construction, real estate, of course, entertainment, casinos. How could that organization been going, been running all those years, led by someone who can't read?
I don't know.
How's that possible?
It's a great swindle. I'll tell you that. I don't understand how you're going to sit here and tell me, oh, he was great, he stayed on prompter and read the speech, and then just a chapter before you went on for paragraphs explaining why you're thoroughly convinced that he cannot read.
Well, and now people believe he has dementia.
Yes.
He just did a whole hour the other day in front of the cameras. Anyone who knows anything about dementia knows that someone, probably wouldn't be able to pull that off.
Especially Reagan did it. See, Reagan did it.
Yeah. Especially if you've been accusing him of having that for a couple of years now. Something would pop up during that hour-long shit show in front of the media. but of course nothing. So he's got dementia. He can't read. Anything else?
Well, he's lazy. He hates working. So sure.
From what I had heard about Donald Trump before he became a politician, he would only sleep 4 hours a night.
Yes.
Always look for the next deal.
It's just so funny to me, and they're annoyed at him that he watches cable news in the morning, and Limbaugh's take on that was just brilliant. I would say to anybody that didn't hear it, you can go read the transcript when he was just, the press spent a day getting upset that supposedly Trump doesn't come down to the Oval Office until about 11 o'clock in the morning. But he's awake. By his tweets, we know that he's awake way earlier than that, like 5:36. And they say he spends his mornings upstairs making phone calls and watching cable news. And he does flip around because his tweets reflect what the hell he's watching, because he's responding in real time to the jackasses on the television. And so Limbaugh pointed out, and I thought this was just brilliant. So the people on TV are getting upset that he's watching them. Why?
Well,
are they not giving him good information? Is that not the best way to stay informed?
Well, I would point back to the previous administration, and whenever something would come up, President Obama would say, well, the first time I heard about it, was watching it on TV. I was watching it on the news.
Right, and they routinely asked him about his favorite shows. He's like, I've been binge watching Homeland. I love that show. Huh. Is it time to do the NCAA brackets again? Give me a break. It's such a friggin' joke. But to me, too, they don't want him working. Right? From everything that I can get.
Right.
They think he's crazy. Isn't it better if he just sits in bed and tweets?
Yeah, you're upset. I mean, we've had this discussion many times when the government threatens, or the Congress, they're threatening a government shutdown. And everybody, we're like, great.
Shut it down. Don't reopen it. Let everybody go home. But, yeah, I don't know that I would recommend reading the book.
Yeah.
But I just had to know what was going on. Because that little weasel was all over TV.
We should have dramatic readings of portions of the book.
I could find some good stuff in there for you, I'm sure.
Did you see, who was it? Randy Quaid.
Yes.
Do a dramatic reading of Trump's tweet regarding his nuclear button.
Yes.
It was brilliant.
It was brilliant. He's a genius. He should run in 2020.
Right?
Maybe he can get on Oprah's ticket.
Oh, no, I've already got that figured out. It's going to be Oprah Sheen.
Oh, it's not going to be Oprah and Uma? That was Letterman, right?
Yeah,
Oprah, the Academy
Uma.
Awards.
Oprah, Uma. No, I mean, apparently now we have a situation where the only thing one of the things that makes you qualified to be president of the United States is if you give one good speech. And to me, one of the best public speakers I've seen is Martin Sheen when he was president on the West Wing.
Oh, don't think for a second that they wouldn't vote for him if he ran. How many people do you believe Martin Sheen was actually the president?
Well, that's what I've always found comical about them bitching about people voting for Trump. Oh, he has no experience. Oh, experience matters to you because back in 2008, you had Barack Obama, who had been a senator for about a cup of coffee, versus a guy that had been in the Senate since the 1870s. Experience didn't matter back then.
No.
And if our choices were not Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, if our choices were Dick Cheney and Martin Sheen, you'd be telling me that it's totally cool to vote for Martin Sheen. Or Charlie Sheen, for that matter.
Yeah, when you said Sheen, that's what I thought you were talking Charlie. Like the Tiger Blood ticket? Winning.
Tainted blood ticket now.
Yeah, ooh.
But... No, Martin Sheen was a great president on TV.
He was excellent.
He had me thinking about voting Democrat. So there you go. Our former co-host over at the Snark Factor, Duke, used to go on and on about the best presidential address in history was Bill Pullman on Independence Day. Apparently he'd make an excellent president.
Sure. Well, I love all of this. It just reveals what a clown show this entire idea is of having somebody in that position to begin with. And then all the doofuses in the Senate and Congress.
And all the doofuses that are still never Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I just sit back and I think, every once in a while, Trump will tweet something stupid and I'll think to myself, oh, God, I'm getting tired of this. But then I see the reaction of the Bill Cristols of the world. And I think to myself, oh, this is priceless. What are you getting down on Trump for? He's pissing off all the right people.
Right. And really, the only policy stuff that I have issue with is him sending more troops to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we're getting a tax cut.
Yeah, we're getting a tax cut. I would love to see Jeff Sessions fired tomorrow.
Oh, that's a sticky sitch.
But for the most part, I'm pretty okay with about 90% of what he's done so far.
Mm-hmm. And the entertainment value is just priceless.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what happens here in the midterms.
Yeah.
If he will be a drag on congressional candidates, or if you're seeing all these Republicans retire.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. I mean, people start seeing their money back in their paycheck starting in February because, God forbid, the IRS could get its shit together in January. That's insane, right? It's going to take a whole month for us to transition this over and make that effective. What do you mean? Isn't that payroll companies just pushing buttons? How does this work? Why does the IRS have to get involved?
Well, here's the deal. The reason why it's such a... They're going to have a difficult time. Yeah, between payroll, at these companies, but then on top of it, the IRS, they're dealing with changing the tax code on their 2005 Dell computers.
Oh, right. Oh, they got 2005s now?
So it takes time.
Which department was it that was still using floppy disks?
The Department of Defense.
Unbelievable. Yet they managed to spend trillions. They can't buy new equipment.
They should be in charge of your healthcare, Tracy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, state-of-the-art equipment in hospitals. Floppy disk drives from 1998 in the Department of Defense.
Yeah, you go into an operating theater and there's the game Operation and they're practicing using that.
Quick, this patient's going into shock. Bleed her with leeches.
Quickly.
Good God. No. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
I'm sure there's tons of stuff, but we could save it for next week.
Is there going to be a next week?
We shall see.
Well, see, there you go. You got to leave them hanging.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can find the Enough Already podcast on Stitcher, TuneIn, iTunes and SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm. It's also on Google Play.
It's on Google Play?
It is.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So check that out. And then we've got a website that I don't think either one of us have touched in like 9 months.
That is correct.
EnoughAlready.us.
But we'll put the show up there when it's ready to go.
Yeah. So we'll do that. Final thoughts?
I'm just trying to think about the next freak out, what it will be. We've moved quickly from crazy to racist, and I feel like there's a cycle, and I can't remember what the third one is before it goes back to crazy.
Well, at least they were smart enough to, for the most part, move away from the crazy reaction to tax cuts, because, you've seen corporation after corporation announce bonuses for their employees and some even raises.
Yeah.
Like with Walmart, and I think Walmart said they were going to go up to $15 an hour, and there was another company, I believe it was a retailer, that said they were going to pay up to $15 an hour for.
I think Walmart's at 11.
Oh, was it 11?
Yeah,
someone else
starting employees get 11. Mm-hmm.
You're right. Maybe it was Amazon.
They were going to raise other people's and whatever. Yeah. No, imagine that. What happens? And I mean, this is something that I've learned because now I'm working in the wonderful world of manufacturing, which you know quite well. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to keep and find labor. It's an issue all over the country. So
yes.
this is why when I see the unemployment rate now, I'm like, how is this possible? I know we have problems staffing, and we're getting business from other companies that are having problems staffing. So they can't even get enough people to run their machines. And it's like, huh.
Yeah, but you're seeing leftists angry over these announcements. Even Nancy Pelosi said last week that this was just breadcrumbs.
Well,
paraphrasing.
She's pissed because now they have to probably raise the wage that they're paying the illegals that run their vineyards. It's like, shit, they're going to hear about this.
But that's not
demand a raise.
That's not a good look for your political party if companies are announcing that they're raising wages and giving out bonuses to their employees, and you're pissed.
Right. Well, my point is it's a competitive labor market right now, with unemployment so low, mm-hmm. and we know that people have been moving away from unskilled labor jobs, and now there's a big gap that needs to be filled there. So it's going to just drive wages up.
Yeah. I've got my brother-in-law, he's in manufacturing too, in Michigan. And he says basically everything that you're saying. It's impossible to staff the plant mm-hmm. because you just can't find enough people that are willing to do that work at that rate. But then on top of 40% of the people that are coming in are hopped up on opiates. Yeah.
No, I was told by someone I had a meeting with last week that in the Midwest, he's seen signs that are like, we're not drug testing anymore.
Jeez.
That's how dire the need is for this kind of labor.
Well, the other thing too is, I mean, what do you do? Say you're drug testing in Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. Or you're drug testing in Wyoming, and pot's legal in Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean, pot's legal in D.C. Mm-hmm. It's not that far away. That's probably the closest place for people in Philadelphia, right? For legal pot.
No, well, it's not legal in D.C. It's just decriminalized. There's a difference.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Vermont. So you can't. Right. No, I don't think Vermont has it. Massachusetts does. Maine should, but they haven't implemented yet.
Vermont just passed a law, and it's up on the governor's desk, and he's going to sign it, where recreational marijuana will be legal in Vermont.
And that's like a 2-year ordeal.
Sure, but I'm just saying, once
yes.
that happens, you've got areas of the country where it's legal. I mean,
right.
How do you handle that?
What are you telling me? Like, I can't travel to those places and do something that's legal there and come back?
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess you can. I mean, sure, you're a private, business, but you can't expect to keep workers if you're going to, now you're going to say not only can't you do illegal drugs, but you can't do legal drugs either. Mm-hmm. By the way, I didn't pull the story, but, and I could pull it up quickly. Britain is now putting restrictions on lunch and dinner servings in restaurants for calories.
Oh, dear Lord.
It's going to start in May or March.
They're going to restrict the number of calories you're allowed to purchase?
At restaurants.
Can they limit how many restaurants you can go to in a day, too?
I mean, I wish I could find. I don't have it in front of me. I'll have to save it for next week.
Well, that's like the asininity, if that's a word, and if it's not, it is now. You'll recall Michelle Obama made a big push with the candy companies for them to make smaller size candy bars.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah. We should have 100-calorie Snickers bars. Okay, I'll buy 2. This is just idiocracy.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it right now, and I can't find it. Maybe it may have been one of those old stories, too.
Yeah.
Never. But it looked real. I mean, it was from the London Telegraph.
It's got to be real.
Right?
Yeah. It's a reputable source.
So, but these restrictions, it's getting out of control. You just have to ask yourself if you're a business that's trying to staff, especially something like manufacturing where there really isn't. You don't need a lot of intellectual firepower to be on a plant floor. Mm-hmm. At the end of an assembly line. As long as someone's not showing up to work shit-faced every day.
Yeah.
Clearly under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Boy, you're gonna test them once a year? You're gonna test them when they get hired? We can't hire you. We found traces of marijuana in your system. Oh, okay.
No, I was more thinking about the opioids.
Well, the opioids, too.
But you might want to screen for that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit more of a problem. Can't have people all doped up coming to work and moving heavy machines and machinery, driving around on a fork truck.
Pill poppers, man. I never understood it.
Me either.
I think I've told you this story before where I was headed to a conference in Minnesota and I had about an hour and a half before I boarded the plane, I had a kidney stone attack. Yeah. I've never had a kidney stone before, so they, rushed to the hospital, and apparently that, it's one of those situations. It's kind of like when you take your car to a garage because it has a sound, it's making a noise, and then once you get it to the garage, the car doesn't make that sound. Yeah, I got to the hospital, and then as soon as they brought me in to an examination, all the pain was gone. Like, oh, well, apparently you passed the kidney stone into your bladder. So,
look forward to that making its exit.
Right. So I said, well, listen, I'm supposed to be traveling today. Can I still travel? And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. Here's some Vicodin, or I can see the Vicodin, or what's the other one? Oxycontin.
Yeah. That's the one that gets you addicted.
Yeah. Gave me a bottle of pills and said, just take these and good luck to you. I was like, okay. So I tweeted out, wow, had a kidney stone this morning. Didn't think I was going to make it to the conference, but one emergency room visit and a bottle of Oxycontin later, I'm on my way. I was the most popular person at the conference. Mm-hmm. People are coming up to me, oh, heard you had a kidney stone. I hope you're feeling better. Hey, can I have one of those pills? Can I have one or two of those pills? You don't mind, do you? I just have one or two. It's like, holy shit! I could have sold the whole bottle.
I know. Was this before or after they had the casino there?
Before.
Yeah. Otherwise.
Right?
You could be a YouTube star right now.
$10, $15 a pill.
Sure.
Make a quick $2,000. Would have been great. I'm kidding. I would never deal drugs. You NSA people out there listening. Don't need anybody crashing down my door.
No.
So. Okay. Well, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Well, I missed you, pal. This was fun.
I missed you too. Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, it is good to be back. All right, so we'll be back at some point next week with another Enough Already.